Joy Reid really, I think, said something pretty darn, I mean, I just find it nauseating. She's trying to pin what happened to the poor United Healthcare CEO on conservatives. So you got Rachel Maddow in 1 hour saying, oh, somehow it's connected to Trump because Blake Masters was once known to have said, you know, some of the things that the Unabomber said were interesting, blah, 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 whatever. So now somehow, because he's a consideration, a pick for Donald Trump, the entire thing is Donald Trump's fault. Everything is Trump's fault. And for Joy Reid, everything is a conservative's fault. Here she is trying to pin it on conservatives and somehow, what, justifying the use of violence? In this case, this is really gross, you guys. This is what I would call dangerous rhetoric. She's full of it. And then some.
We should not be surprised in this country that just reelected Donald Trump.
And I mean, the reality is, you know, if you go back to the Trayvon Martin case, you can go back before that. You can go back to the justification for lynching among conservatives, whether the conservatives wearing the D uniform or the R uniform. Conservatism itself has justified violence. January 6th, burning down Tulsa and Wilmington, overthrowing the government there. If it's violence for the purposes they want, they're cool with it.
If the victim is somebody that I don't like, or the victim is someone who they feel deserves it, then a lot of times people are willing to justify violence. It's an unfortunate thing. It's a very American thing, right? I mean, we worship vigilante violence. We worship action heroes. We worship Charles Bronson and all these people who take it into their own hands. Al Capone, you know, criminals and everything else like that. I think the sad part about this, frankly, is that I am not going to pretend that in a country that's been started and operated off of violence, that violence doesn't sometimes solve things.
Oh, okay. I told you they were crazy. All right, so this is their attitude. Like, maybe violence is okay, you know, if it serves your purpose in that point in time. Which is, if you listen to the rest of the show that she had, and by the way, I do this so you don't have to. Sorry, you know, it's sorry for me, but you know, good news for you. And I think it's important to understand where the other side is coming from. So before you say, oh, you know, I don't want to listen to that. Listen, I think it's important, it's critical to understand how demented this rationale that they're developing is. You need to be able to poke holes in their theory. So here's Elizabeth Warren somehow as well going forward with this justification thing, saying that, you know what, you know, we've screwed up on healthcare, so therefore people are taking matters into their own hands. We should expect this. No, we should not expect this, lady.
Yeah. And look, we'll say it over and over. Violence is never the answer. This guy gets a trial who's allegedly killed the CEO of United Health. But you can only push people so far. And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
All right. No. Elizabeth Warren, we're never going to justify this. What happened was absolutely despicable. It was heinous. It was awful. You can try and reform healthcare. You can vote people like yourself. We need to vote you out. Seriously, vote you out fast. And that's exactly what we saw Americans do. They took matters into their own hands by going and voting and getting rid of the establishment and the status quo that was screwing everything up for everyone. And that's the way we handle things. Okay, you may want to do, you know, your Black Lives Rally violent things, and we're not there with you. Conservatives actually do believe in law and order, no matter how you're going to twist and try and change it. But I'll tell you, when you're in a situation now, when people in the media do not understand effectively right from wrong or good from bad, we have some problems.